This is a video for a Honda Civic 1.8 EX manual. Car's registered RF07OHX. It's covered 60,500 miles. Finished in this really nice metallic blue. But it's been fitted with a couple of major options. But you can see there, it's got the black roof, which has got the glass panoramic roof with the electric blind, and a really lovely full black leather interior with the heated seats. Let's go around the car for you. Just did the lenses on the near side here, headlamp and fog light. There's no marks or otherwise on there. The bonnet is amazingly free of chipping. It's very, very good indeed. It's quite common to see quite a few chips there, but there's nothing there that I can see at all. And again, the lenses on this side absolutely spot on. Let's crouch down here. Very crisp down the side. There's one or two really tinsy little sort of car parking dinks I can see, but I'll come to those in a second. Front offside wing, absolutely spotless. Alloys, very, very good indeed, and the tyre is in exceptional condition on the front there. On the alloy, there's a tiny bit of curbing just on the outside edge. One little spoke there, just one little bit there, but they're very small indeed. Come down the flanks here, again it's really, really crisp indeed. There's a little stone, just a little chip there, which could do with being touched in at some point by somebody. Sorry, come to this rear wheel, again tyres, got tons and tons of tread on it. Alloy again, very good indeed, just with a tiny bit of curbing again, just on the outside here, but it's very, very small indeed, there's no corrosion there at all. Dinks I could see, if I can just find them again, they're on the rear door here somewhere. I'm sure I saw a couple just there, but they're minuscule, so. Come on the back of the car, rear bumper's all in very good order. And down the near side flank of the car, again I can see just one little car parking dink. I can just go straight to it so I can remember where it is. Just little one there, but really the paintwork's in very, very nice order again. Tyres all around the car very good actually. This near side alloy again very good indeed. Only mark I can see, just a titchy bit down there as well. Really good. It looks good in this colour, always does, especially when you've got the black roof on it. And then final one here, again alloy near side, so it's always one that takes the brunt of any marks. So you have got a few there on the outside, just on this. That's probably the worst of all the alloys, but even that's pretty good. So all in all, on the exterior, it's all in very, very nice condition. Just coming to the boot area of the car, absolutely enormous boot on the Civics here. Got the 60/40 fold on the rear seat. It's all in very good condition back here. The car's not even been valeted yet, so it shows how nicely kept the vehicle's been. You've got the power outlets up there, and then you've got this hidden recess down here. You can just pop that back down and drop it down there. There is something underneath. I think someone's just left something in the car, but it all drops down nice and flat. Alright, come to the back of the car. There you've got the near side door card, all in pretty good order there. Only sort of minuscule marks. What I've got the hit seats here is in their vertical position at the back. This just kind of shows off the magic seats. It's a really brilliant design by Honda. That allows them for any oddities, if you can mount on bikes with quick release wheels or otherwise, give them nice and secure in the back. It's such a clever design. Really simple to drop down, beautifully engineered. Just pop the handle up, down she goes, and likewise exactly the same on that one there. And then you're left with tons and tons of leg room. It's absolutely massive in the back, and all the leatherwork's in really, really lovely condition. Coming to the front of the car now, driver's door card's in wonderful condition. Again, just reiterating the car hasn't been valeted yet, so it just shows how nice this one is. Sill area is all really good. Car benefits from a full set of original Honda mats in the car as well. Driver's seat in very, very good condition. Only minuscule sign of wear, just where it kind of rubs when you get in and out, but there's no damage to the leatherwork at all, and I'm making a mountain out of a molehill with it really. Come into the middle here, and then passenger seat there, absolutely superb condition. Just going to pan up here just to show you the panoramic roof, excuse the pun, and then if you want to close the blind on a raging hot summer's day, if you ever got one, just do that and then press and open up again. Really lovely design. Right, so I'm inside the car now. Obviously the engine is running on the vehicle. Just going to go around, just before I do that, just going to quickly show you. We've got the full owner's manual pack and the locking wheel that's set in the car, so it's all good and intact. But it's all in really lovely condition in here. this fabulous dashboard, which I'll show more of in the road test part of this video. But EX versions, they've got this big clear sat-nav screen, nice high, mounted nice and high up on the dashboard there. Simple controls for ventilation, and the main controls for your sat-nav system there as well. Just scroll down a bit further, we've got the 6-speed manual gearbox, all in nice order. There's no sort of marks on the paintwork there at all. Then you've got your heated seat control buttons there. Just press for low, high on both sides there as well. And it all works absolutely perfectly, as you'd expect. You've got loads of little sort of stowage and cubby holes in the car as well. Coming across, we've got the multifunction steering wheel. So you've got audio top left, cruise control top right, voice activation controls on the bottom left, and then your information display control buttons on the bottom right there. Then you've got this fantastic 2-tier dashboard. So you've got the MPH nice and high up there, and then you've got your speedo, so your rev counter and temperature and fuel gauge down below. Just to show you, just go in there nice and close. Got 60,529 miles, engine's running as you can see, and no warning lights on the car. Coming across, obviously starter button and controls for all your electric windows and your electric wing mirrors. They're power fold as well, just to show you. Just press a button there, they fold in, and it all works absolutely perfectly. Right, this is a road test video rather, for a Honda Civic 1.8EX, registered RF07OHX. Mileage at the start of this brief road test is 60,530 miles. The reason we now do these videos is basically because we're selling to people all over the near continent and the extremes of the UK. We do feel it's right, if you're willing to make the effort to come and see us, which can involve sort of time, money and otherwise, the least we can do is show you the car in operation prior to you coming to us. That way, if there's anything on the car that I need to inform you about, then I will. I can do so before you make that trip to us, and you can decide whether you want to make the trip or otherwise. What I try and do on the road tests is really just do exactly the same as you'd do yourself when you come to see the car and drive the car. And that's just to go through one by one the major mechanicals, I can't say it, major mechanicals of the car, and just to check them out and just see if they're in good working order and the car drives as it's intended to. With that in mind, I always start with the engines of the car. Good place to start on a Honda. This is the 1.8 VTEC engine. This particular engine's just done 60,000 miles, so it's next to no mileage on this particular car. Chain driven engine, so there's no cam belts to worry about on the vehicles. A Honda engineered them properly. Being a VTEC, it gives really good performance, but it's very civilized around town as well. This particular example starts absolutely on the button, settles to a lovely even idle as it is now. I've only just started the car, and it pulls beautifully through the rev range. As an example of one, it's absolutely fabulous. Very sweet revving, as they generally are, and it does perform really nicely. Very economical engines as well. I mean, you're looking realistically, if you're getting much less than 43 to the gallon, there's something wrong really, in terms of, it may be that you just do pure town driving, but mixed up driving, 43 is very easy indeed. Overall average, plenty of our customers getting 50 to the gallon out of these cars, and it's a really wonderful unit. The engine then drives through clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the petrol engines is very long lasting. This particular one bites exactly at the right point on the clutch pedal, sort of halfway up the travel of the car. Clutch pedal actuation is very smooth, very even. There's no vibrations coming back through the clutch pedal or change in engine note at all when the clutch is in or out. Clutch, obviously, then goes through this wonderful 6-speed gearbox. Honda are absolute masters at gearboxes, they really are. That's a red light here. What's difficult to achieve with all these modern cars is because most of these cars will have a cable running from this gear lever all the way through to the transmission in the front of the car. For a lot of vehicles, you find that that results in a really kind of vague, slightly notchy gear change. Honda seemed somehow to maintain a feeling of kind of mechanical change about the gear change, whether it's in linkage or otherwise, I don't know. But it means that this change is just like a flick of a switch. It's just wonderfully precise, brilliantly engineered, and it's, you know, it just shows up Honda at their best. You know, they make the best gearboxes by a country mile, not just in terms of the mechanical integrity, longevity, but also the how it actually is used in operation. It's just it's got wonderful feel to it. This particular one, as I can feel just no slop, no any sign of wear really in the linkage at all on the car. It really is in fabulous order. The whole thing, the whole powertrain in essence just blends beautifully, and this is a really lovely example of one of these cars. It has been very well looked after, to be fair, so that comes as no great surprise. Whilst talking about the engine and anything else for that matter, just look at the dashboard now. There are no warning lights on the vehicle at all, so, you know, relating to the engine, gearbox, or anything else for that matter. While I'm driving at any speed, before I get to the other bits, I always listen out for any kind of odd wind noises coming through from the vehicle, in case there might be kind of a window seal gone or windscreen not fitted quite right. But the car drives very quietly, very smoothly, and there's nothing to report in that either. As I'm driving here at speed, car tracks nice and straight. There's no vibrations at all through the steering of the car, and I can't sense an ounce of wear in it. As soon as I turn the wheel, the car moves. There's no kind of delay, there's no slop in the steering of the car, which suggests that, you know, track rod ends and ball joints, all that kind of stuff are all in very fine order underneath, as is the steering rack. It's a very dynamic car to drive. They really are. That's, you know, as soon as you turn, the car wants to go, and it's a wonderful companion on A and B roads. Suspension of the vehicle, again, likewise, you know, you can hear it doing it going over a bump like that, as you should, but there are no kind of resonances, there's no kind of aftershocks coming back up through the suspension of the car. It's again, it all feels very solid underneath, and that combines to give this, you know, on these sorts of roads, it's a lovely ride. It's firm, but it's really well controlled. There's a little corner coming up in a minute, I'll just push it through a little bit harder just to show just how nice and flat these cars corner. And that's important if you've got family on board. Initially soft cars can seem like a really nice idea, but you put a kid in the back of a softly sprung car and they get slewed about all over the place, especially through corners and roundabouts, whereas in the Civics it just holds its line and holds its composure beautifully. And I'll just sort of show that now, because this is at the legal limits on the open road. Tightish left hand corner, completely unruffled. A much tighter right hand corner coming up now, again a little bit quicker than I would do normally. Turn it in, just beautifully composed to the corner, and that really does translate into much more comfortable and longer trips with, you know, family and kids especially. You know, I've got two of my own, and I'd much rather be in this, where they felt the bumps a little bit here, but not getting flown around through the corners. The dashboard on these cars I absolutely love. This is a, you know, EX version, so it's top of the range. You've got this really lovely crystal clear sat-nav display that's really nicely positioned. It's nice and high, it's not too low down on the dash, so as you're looking ahead you can still see the map in your peripheral vision. Much the same as with this Speedo, which I think is a brilliant idea. It's very it's managed lovely and high. If I look to cars in front of me as I drive along, I can still see the speed I'm doing as I'm doing it. There's no kind of having to put your head down a second time to gauge the speed. It's just a lovely, clever idea, because that's the main information that anyone takes at any given time. Secondary information like revs, you know, fuel and temperature, you know, people look at very occasionally in reality when they're driving, except maybe on very high performance cars. And that's then mounted in a more conventional binnacle just underneath here, and that's done in this really lovely little pod. It's kind of like a hologram effect. There's no scratches on this dash. Sometimes you get kind of ring marks or finger marks where the people are using an abrasive rag to clean the dashboards, but this one's been kept really nicely. The temperature gauge running at a third of the way up the gauge, that's exactly where you want it to be on a Honda Civic. It's absolutely perfect on this car. All the motor controls work absolutely beautifully. You know, you've got this lovely big simple display system up here. You've got this, you know, controls rather for the radio, and then for your audio, sat nav and otherwise up there. It's just really nicely done. You know, the dashboard couldn't be anything other than a Civic, and it really is all the better for that. It's beautifully made. There's not a squeak or a peak coming out of it driving down these country lanes. You know, the whole thing drives really well. Steering wheel, holding it in my hand, again, I can't see any obvious wear on the steering wheel itself. You've got your cruise control on the top right here, press the button, cruise activates, and then set it, and it all works perfectly. Audio controls up on this top left hand side of the steering wheel, and then you've got your voice activation controls down here. Bottom right, we've got information display on there as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to forget, but I always check on the brakes as well as part of the road test, just to show you that they all work absolutely perfectly. Lovely pedal position. It's the bite's right at the top of the pedal. Very well modulated brake pedal on the Hondas. It's not over servoed, so you've got no sort of nasty snap as you hit the brake pedal. But all in all, if you're coming any kind of distance to us, you can rest assured this car drives absolutely beautifully. And as I said, if there was something to report, I certainly would do so.